ladies and gentlemen, I normally would start this with a bunch of music and whatnot and things, but I'm late, and is Saewong here? Is Saewong's lateness? Van's lateness has infected the show. Yes, it has. So let's be real. Let's get the show started.
Distance nerding.
Hey! Hold on. What the shit? Force is here. Just surprises all around.
Force jump scare.
And clean shaven.
I know. No, he's not a husband.
Yeah, I had to clean it up and start over because I had one of those stupid things where you like shave incorrectly and then it's all even. Then you try to get the other side and then the other side, and it's like all of a sudden that your face is bald and it's like crap.
Right.
You know where your biggest mistake is in all of this?
Shaving.
I don't get a professional to do it for me.
No. Not shaving. That he didn't just shave down the middle and do a chop.
Ooh, chop FX.
Do you know?
Yes.
Just shave right here and just chop it up. Right? I'm sure
Oh my
Gerard would have been less upset than what you did.
It grows back quick. We're good.
You are definitely not a husband right now. You're just
No.
husband.
I am master of injury at the moment.
There's that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now tuned into The Build. I have no music because I didn't have it ready here, but I'm turning it on right now. Boom. There we go.
There we go.
There we are.
Guys, it's going to be a great day. We got a Fours back in the building. We've got a Shadoo on the resident goatee. I love it. We've got a Shadoo on the build. And guys, before we bring on the guest, Roshi's here. So Roshi's got to talk, but let's talk about our first sponsor before I let Roshi go off the rails here.
Gonna be off the dome too.
Exactly. And that is Poddex. Wait a minute. I've got something for this.
You do.
Boom! Poddex. I've got it.
Yay!
I've got it. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Poddex. Poddex are a unique interview episode question and starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Now use the code NERDING10, like you see on the screen right there, and you get 10% off the order. It's pretty dopeness. Our boy Graveyard. Oh, he's got it on screen. So let me hold on.
Dude.
I've got like 30 screens that I gotta get to.
What?
Hey.
Graveyard's got the pod deck action going right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we use whenever we do any interviews. Like when we interviewed our guest that we're gonna have on today. Today's episode is a follow-up, by the way, everybody. So and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a crap ton of fun because we have to let them just be nerds this time. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Right? I think that's kind of what we want, right? We just want them to just nerd out, right?
Oh yeah. We were nerding out on the English language before the stream started.
I know.
Were you nerding out on the English language as it pertains to a Filipino accent? That's 10 times funnier.
No. I don't think I can do that.
I was with a Filipino buddy at work right before this, and we were doing like, oh, what do your grandparents sound like? Like, oh yeah, fun fact, my grandfather was Filipino. Even though my mom was adopted, so my grandfather was Filipino, and he was very Filipino, like he was Fabi Filipino. So when you hear that accent, right, you just grow up with the oi, what these fish, huh?
I feel like I just offend someone accidentally.
Yes, pasty white guy can't do
And then we were talking about one of the best Filipino comedians in existence. You guys might be thinking I'm going to say Joe Coy, but no, I'm saying Rex Navarrete. And if you're from the Bay Area, you know who Rex Navarrete is, and he is he's one of the funniest guys ever. So I'm just gonna say, guys, go to YouTube, look up Rex Navarrete. Even if you don't understand the jokes, the delivery is so good, you're gonna die laughing. It's great.
So if we're powered by Poddex, what powers young Phil?
Yeah, you know what? We've got a very special friend to tell us. Roshi, tell us what Poddex is all about.
Oh, tell you what Poddex is all about? How about I tell you what Dubby's all about?
Sorry. Yes, Dubby. That's what I mean.
This is off the cuff, so Dubby execs, please forgive me. But oh my God. So Dubby is an amazing trend. Dubby contains no artificial flavors, no maltodextrin, artificial color, excuse me. And it is keto friendly. It's got 150 milligrams to get you rocking. And you can hold on just a second. I'm back in this freaking house. Move the hell over. You crippled bastard. Anyway, you can get www.dubby.gg and use the code nerding10 for 10% off your purchase at checkout. Thank you, Master. Back to your island. You got it. So back to you guys. That is Dubby.
Was that Roshi?
Yeah. I'm hurting so bad.
That's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just bring them on now, right? Because we're ready to have some fun.
Yes.
We're going to talk about an amazing property. I want to just say the name, but it's like, no, I'm not going to steal their thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Lawrence Iriarte and Diego Iriarte talking about Lumpia, baby. But first, I was going to say, but first, let me get a shout out. But, you know, I fucked that up.
What's up, guys?
What up,
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
It's awesome. Love being here, guys.
Oh, yeah. And this time we get to do a bracket. So it's going to be like, it's going to be a shit ton of fun, man.
We have some of the most controversial brackets, the most salty brackets prepared for tonight.
Goodies.
Oh, man.
Made my way right into the controversy.
Oh, absolutely. Because, we are prepping for Ahsoka, everyone, with the rankings of the Star Wars movies and Star Wars TV shows separately.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to make people mad then. I'm definitely going to.
And that's where we're here. We're here to nerd together, right?
Oh,
Nerdist!
Yes. But let's start with our awesome guest here. Do you want us to, if they have you said you have a 10-minute video to describe where you guys have been in the past year? I'm okay with playing that. Are you okay with it? Playing that? Phil?
I'm okay with any video. Go ahead and play it.
All right. Let me share.
Yeah, what videos do we have? I mean,
Let me go ahead and.
This is our journey from the last year, and it involves what has been going on with Comic-Con and what exactly has been happening with us. So,
I was going to say, would you say it's food porn?
It's nerd porn. Let's put it that way. It's
let's go.
Yeah.
that's also a different thing.
I only say food porn because it's lumpia related. So
It's definitely giving you a taste of what it's been like to be in our seat.
A taste.
Yeah.
Taste, that's good.
Give you a taste and just a flavor of what being it is in part of the Lumpia family and what we've been experiencing from fellow nerds, new nerds, just fellow folks who've never seen or are familiar with the works of the Lumpia with a Vengeance, the deep fried universe. So here we go. Just check it out. This is what it's.
Yes.
Let's see what's been on their plate.
Phil, are you able to play that from yours? Because in Firefox, I can't
hold on.
stream
Oh,
sound
crap.
from mine. Because Firefox sucks.
So hopefully we could give
Yes.
you this. Yes.
Yeah, it's in the private chat there, Phil.
okay, there we go. No,
It's a secret.
my cable unplugged and I couldn't hear anything for a second.
Oh, Are you able to share that via your setup? Because StreamYard in Firefox does not let me share my audio.
Oh, God. Do me a favor. Shoot me the link again. The only thing I see in here is something that Cam posted.
Okay. Yep. Let me do that again. So let me put it in here for you. There you go.
There's the secret code.
Yes.
Shh. It's just
This
us.
will expire in 3, 2. Oh.
All right. Do you see it, Phil?
I do. I am currently opening it here. Let's okay.
Also,
ignore the virus warnings. It's okay.
I'm actually seeing nothing but.
That's okay. I mean,
this video will destroy your computer. Viewer discretion advised.
Also, our sincerest condolences, Cam.
Yes.
We're with you, man.
Okay, there we go. Every time I stop the video, it would like restart it, and I'm like, stop it. Okay, so now, what the heck? Okay, so now everything just kind of disappeared on my screen.
Uh-oh.
It really is the secret. They put a lock and key on it.
I could see that.
Marvel's checking up on us. So.
Uh-oh.
Like, how do you do this? Teach us your ways.
Got it. Okay. Now that's open. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
Boom.
It's community building, right? And building
it is.
And so we're gonna keep going until someone tells us to stop.
There you go.
Really loud. Did you really pee-pee?
I will be hosting the exclusive Virginia Beach, Virginia screening.
Something in the way you move. Lumpia with a Vengeance. We'll hear all about this movie celebrating a Filipino favorite.
Love that lumpia.
Wow, there you go. Lumpia with a Vengeance.
Hey, I know what you're thinking. This weekend, I want to see a movie about lumpia.
Yeah. Louie, I'm so excited to support you. Is it free?
Oh my gosh, my kid is crying.
This is our Mabuhay mantra here.
What up, James?
I want to thank you all.
And that concludes Comic-Con 2022.
Guess what, you guys? It's finally going to be shown in select movie theaters all over the U.S.
Whose movie is that, Logan?
Play it once again for old time's sake. Sam hit the keys and the chords that make love to the ears and the words I make. Let the verse vibrate. Take a certified break with the drinks of cheers. One down, two down, then third. Step to the side and exchange some words.
Back or rack.
That's the best one. For years. This is the theme song to the movie Lumpia with a Vengeance.
People who aren't familiar with our culture can take a sneak peek at the overall funness and craziness of our community.
Hello.
Delhi City, make some noise!
Here's an action movie that'll make you hungry.
A Daly City filmmaker is showing off his new movie this weekend in his hometown.
He shared with me how he hopes the film will increase the presence of Asian Americans on the big screen.
I grew up literally watching you. I'm geeking out right now, nerding
You know
out.
what? I'm geeking out to have some Daly City Filipinos out here.
Yes.
Bring it.
Happy opening day, everyone. I'm at the Century Daly City right now, going to the first screening.
Man, Lumpia with a Vengeance came out with a vengeance, hands down.
It was great, guys. Yeah, you guys gotta watch it. Love that.
Dude, I'm hungry. I want some Lumpia right now.
Is anyone here Kickstarter supporters from that front?
Yeah!
Amazing.
This is backed by you guys solely.
And support, keep supporting, and we'll make more. I had a mohawk for this movie, and because the movie's good.
We added more screenings. What's going on here?
Currently sold out of Lumpia with a Vengeance.
All screenings today.
All screens.
Even the cheap seats? Come
Even
on.
the seats.
Oh my goodness.
Who's this?
I love it.
I'm gonna pick another movie.
Ready, set, go, eat dust, I'm unstoppable. Keep crush your final star. Ready, set, go, eat. Can you tell us how you're feeling today?
What an opening night.
Love that, Lumpia!
Love that. This is Lord Derek, huh?
Love that.
Why so my arte? Why so my arte? Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm here with Katrina.
We're here, guys.
Yes. Times Square. Can you imagine? We're in New York.
And 7 p.m. sold out.
Guys, we made it to your Comic Con. So now we're back in the Eastern Press. We're ready for some regal
Legal sex crossing. Don't you never? So much love from New York, man.
It's only Filipino.
What's your favorite character?
Lumpia Man. Awesome.
Yeah.
The best.
This is the movie. Joining us now from inside an aircraft in Los Angeles and is now on his way to Hawaii. Direct, thank you so much for joining us.
He and some cast members flew to Honolulu for the premiere last night.
Hawaii, are you guys ready to see some Lumpia on the big screen? We met each other. Through a film called The Debut. Here, check this out. With the Hawaii opening night release. Got that Lumpia, not the 10th anniversary. This is the first printing. Look at this.
So how does he do this? Fighting crime with using lumpia?
Well, if you can't beat them, you have to feed them, I guess.
Exactly.
Excellent film. Hopefully, there's going to be a sequel.
I've been laughing with the audience, so thank you so much for being there.
You killed it! Really good. And it was really funny. Right off the
Before I forget, he's happening so fast. Should remember this moment.
We gonna watch that Lumpia premiere in H-Town. You know it go down, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got the Lumpia exclusive Houston.
We're at the movies. What they serve at the movies?
Man, at the Lumpia, man.
That's what you think of the that shit was dope as hell. It had like the Machete, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Lumpia smashing.
Got like all the visual elements and the comedy and the different characters y'all threw in there.
We too real. We too real.
That was a really good, very entertaining. Absolutely loved it.
Wow.
My favorite part of the movie were the fight scenes. Honestly, the fight scenes were really dope. The fight scenes were so funny.
Oh, what is this movie about? Where can I watch Lumpia? In the movie? The theaters? You know how much? $1. That's cheap. I'm gonna watch the movie now. What?
I know.
Welcome everyone.
What's cooler than meeting Lumpia Man, Mon Mon? Meeting Lumpia,
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, crazy
God, I'm hungry. Oh,
Wow.
And there you go. That's what that's what we were revealing, just like how much that we were involved over the last year before Comic-Con. 3 weeks ago, Diego. It's been 3 weeks now, or about
Yeah, it's about been 3 weeks
since Comic-Con, and then to top all off on Comic-Con. Hey James, how you doing? Shout out to James Navarro.
What's up, James?
And we topped it all off with a sold out audience of over 4,000 in the famous Ballroom 20, which used to be the original Hall Room H. So I mean, with that, yeah, over 4,000 people, and some of those people had to be turned away, right, Diego, because of the
because the fire marshal. And we had a double feature screening at one of the ballrooms, and it was completely packed. So this was probably one of the most craziest San Diego Comic-Con conventions, because there was no Marvel or DC like major presentation. Like, we were really the headliners during the show, and even at the comic book booth, it was just I was running the booth like almost every single day, and it was crazy how packed it was. And to where like security would be like, "Hey, you guys need to keep the line moving." We're like, "Oh."
That's stupid dope, man. I mean, just like,
yeah.
And then we had our autograph session went overtime, right? I mean,
yeah, our autograph session went overtime. The line was full. It was insane. It's, to be a part of a historical moment in Comic-Con. It's because an independent film on this level has
crowdfunded film. That means no studio backing, no monies. All the dollars that went into the film directly came from the community. That means people who like donated food. I mean, donated their time, and just the crowdfunding that we had was, it was not $1 million. It was like it was not $1 million film, but it looks like it could have easily been a $3 to $5 million film. So, and it wasn't just for the Filipino community, which is why I'm so proud that the Comic-Con family, the Comic-Con fans, the Comic-Con, just them in general, the attendees just opened up and welcomed us in, and including the staff. The staff was incredible. Thank you, Comic-Con San Diego. They treated us like with such respect, with such royalty, and I mean they really treated us so well. And if it weren't for them, this type of publicity would have never been out. And which is why we announced at that Comic-Con that you can actually get this movie now in your homes October 3rd.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was excited for this because like I kind of had like a an early like kind of knowledge on this, and I was like, oh man, I can't say anything, but I'm so excited for this because I really want to watch this movie, and it's like, fuck, I can't go watch because I couldn't see it in theaters.
But now because of folks that missed it in the theaters because of that, you have to think that we released the movie shortly after the COVID releases were coming. And then and check this out, our release came out the same time as Black Adam. So we were competing with the DC Warner Brothers, fully funded studio film. And we were able to extend our theatrical stay rather than sometimes if a movie doesn't do very well in a weekend or 2 weekends, they close off.
Yeah.
But there are some cases that they actually added on showings. They added on like weeks, like another full week. So we've stayed in some theaters as long as a month during Black Adam. So
yeah,
it's the battle.
Well, I will say that one of them is certainly better, and it's yours.
I think you were in theaters longer than Black Adam. Let's face it.
Right.
It's the battle of the Pacific Islanders. One guy.
Sorry, Dwayne.
We brought our wrecking machine.
It's like, who's gonna win, the Philippines or Samoa? Yeah, the Philippines are bigger.
we got some food behind us. We got some food.
Yeah, that's right. We got big lumpia behind us.
and you could see how the community just really supported us in so many different fashions. And the folks that couldn't make it, like the older folks, they were still a little afraid about going into the theater. And a lot of them said, well, if you can make it available to us. Well, now it's happening. Happening. You can actually pre-order the film right now. You could actually go to our site, kidheroes.net, and they'll direct you to the streaming services. On Demand is actually doing it. Apple's actually doing it right now early, so you could actually do the pre-orders now.
Getting that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it on because if it's on Apple, that means it's gonna be on Movies Anywhere. So I'm gonna get Movies Anywhere.
Yeah. So if our goal is to actually try to hit and to get people order it as early as possible, because what that does for us is, as you saw, the symbol come up at one of the conventions is the 3. And we made the announcement last year that we're in the works of the sequel to the sequel, the 3rd installment of the film. So Lumpia 3, which is the working title. I can't officially release the actual title, but Lumpia 3, the sequel to Lumpia with a Vengeance, is in the works.
The Wrath of Lumpia.
Which or no, the when Balot attacks.
All right, Lumpia harder.
Actually, Shadu has that poster at his house. I'm not kidding.
Lumpia, the indigestion. Oh,
I'm not kidding.
Versus Pepto.
Shadu's mom is Frey Girl, who interviewed you guys last time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I sent her one of the signed copies of the poster. So he actually has one of those posters.
Oh, right on.
I have no idea where it is, but I mean,
I did not know I had that, so now I have to go ask my mom where it is.
It's a Will Spartasio original design, co-creator of the character Bishop from the X-Men. So again, a lot of prideful things are happening for us, and the big thing is getting the movie to across the nation. Now it's across the nation, and if we do very well, it may cross over the waters, go international.
Got it.
So there we go. Oh yeah.
Hold on. I'll make you a picture in there. There you go.
There you go.
That's the triptych. Yeah, that's the rare poster that we did specifically for Comic-Con. Oh, that's by me. There you
go. There's the sign.
Which we're not going to say what part of it, just because I guess maybe people can pause the video and put it and look at it. But
Yeah.
You were telling me that there is a not just Easter egg, but like there's almost like an announcement for that's a part of the third movie in that poster.
Yes. There's a part of like certain characters, certain things that we're hoping to show, and just level it up. So if you think of our film, because this a lot of our inspiration from Robert Rodriguez's El Mariachi franchise. You know how there's El Mariachi, then it went to Desperado, and then ultimately it finished up with Once Upon a Time Mexico. And each movie leveled up. That is the direction that we're going, is to like, if you thought the second one was like, this is crazy, the third one is like leveled up. I mean, our comic books are a clue to that. So if you pick up any of the recent books, Diego's actually designed some of those characters. Tell them about it, Diego.
I've designed a good portion, and it's been an interesting collaboration to work alongside with Pat. Like, I love the fun kind of wacky ideas that you would not normally associate in a comic book, because every character, it's all food oriented. And I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but this I can reveal is that these villains are all hollow related, and the team's called Mix. So it's a huge thing to be like. I love that I got to design our I don't know if it's a spoiler.
Here we go.
Well, she's on the cover, so I guess I could talk about it.
I was going to say, just remember, anything you say right now is on the internet. So
yes, it is going out live to potentially millions of people.
Let's put it this way: our covers kind of reveal the magnitude of Diego's designs, done by some other artists. There's one of the characters from the film goes through a transformation, and that's revealed in the comic book that Diego designed.
Yeah, and during Gemini #2 is also my debut for interiors for comic books. So it's this huge like kind of collaboration that my dad he used my inker / finisher, and I debuted doing colors for interiors, and I penciled it. And this is like a interesting like story, because we're expanding and setting up the possible things that you will see in #3, and it's a huge like crisis type of story.
And the title of it is called
The title of it's called Panda Crisis. So that's it's a huge like nod towards everything that's going on. And Pat's scripts are a lot like it reminds me of a Marv Wolfman type of like instances that he has going on. So it's really cool.
And what's also cool is like, if you're a fan of the original film, and if you become a fan, when you become a fan of the second film, the comic book writing, Pat integrates the comic books with characters that you would have never expected to be part of this movie and where we're going. I mean, it's neatly woven, and it elevates when you watch the movie. If you read the comic book, you go back to the movie, you go, oh my God, there's that character, and vice versa. You go, oh my God, this is where the character's going. I mean, it's a fun universe. The Deep Fry universe is like really, really fun for us to actually play around, because it's both a movie property and now a comic book property, and hopefully extend it out more in the future. Something
putting on Crisis on Infinite Fryers.
Yeah. Okay, let's write that down, Diego.
He's like, God damn it! Every time we come on this show, there's like good ideas that pop up.
We're jacking it, Phil. I'm not being, I'm not being.
Steal
any. Oh, you're doing what? Oh, you're doing.
So I got a couple questions, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So number one, watch this, Phil. Opportunistic. Number one, do you plan on doing anything animated? And number two, do you need a voice actor for it?
It's so
I see
happens.
what you're doing here. I see.
I think Diego and I we also announced at the convention at the Ballroom 20 that we are working on the digital interactive comic book.
What? Let's go.
Yes.
And
Nice.
what that means is that I've been trying to pitch something to the mainstream folks back 25 years ago. And at that time, an iPad didn't exist, iPhones didn't exist, and laptops were just breaking through. And something that I showed to a very respectable, loved comic book artist who's now running, the company. They asked me one major question. This is great. I'd love to have you do this stuff. How do we share it with the audience? And I didn't have an answer because what I showed them on a home camera. I had created some digital imagery that was actually animated based upon some very famous comic book work, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And I had animated Frank Miller's work and saying that I would like to see it done this way. I had voice actors and I had I had music that I put behind it. But I took literally Frank's work and I didn't redraw it, not like the animation that you saw. Literally, it's Frank's work come to life. And it was a lot of the key scenes I actually showed him on a home camera that I flipped open the screen and played the videotape that I had downloaded at the time, one of my limited computers that I was using, and it was The Dark Knight animated. And I couldn't figure out how to answer his question. Fast forward 25 years later, we Diego and I met some gentlemen, and they showed us their version of the motion comic book and digital platform, and they said they can make it interactive. And so we gave them a list of things that we wanted to accomplish, namely the stuff that I did 25 years ago. And now we're applying it to Olympia with a Vengeance, the comic book, the digital interactive comic book. So awesome. What that means is you'll be able to go to the frame and not only just read it where the panels are moving in place for you to read like a traditional digital comic book, but now the feature will allow you to listen to the actors.
Yes.
Nice. And you'll hear cast members dialogue from the movie and from to actually do the roles, the characters that you're familiar with, as well as there's Easter egg panels that are highlighted where you touch them, and then there's animated moments that Diego actually has done himself, myself, that we were actually animating. And then there's the secret Easter egg moments where certain pages will play out full sequences into a limited animation. And then there's additional things like secret Lumpia recipes, unlocking the keys. Like you find these Easter eggs, the secret recipe that we use for the Sinigang Lumpia, homemade recipes for different Lumpia that supposedly Kuya uses, just all kinds of, and then there's the fact finder Easter egg, which is you look at a character and see where the character transforms, kind of like what Diego designed, kind of like the Who's Who in Marvel Universe, and then several other features that we have planned in addition to that. So, and then there's the Lumpia throwing game that we're kind of like, you could actually be Kuya and throw the Lumpia.
Oh, wow.
So next year at the Xbox conference, they'll be announcing Lumpia with a Vengeance, the video game.
Yeah, well, can you imagine it even as an OG, like an OG Shinobi type of game? You're like, throwing the Lumpia, and you're fighting all of the, the Gemini villains coming at you because, we kind of hint in the movie that there is a turtle reference in there. So there's all kinds of stuff that we have. Yeah.
Nice.
So we're trying to give the stuff that we nerd out to. This is stuff I dreamed about, and now to have an actual opportunity to work with my son and work with fellow artists, other comic book artists from the industry, and to really just go, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? So when you write a story, when a writer writes a story, they can actually tell us, well, I kind of see the scene happening this way. And you go, oh, let's put the secret panel where you actually get into the thought of the villain or the hero, or it's extra.
Oh, that would be dope.
You know what I'm saying? You ever thought like you read Peter Parker and then, God, what's he thinking of this panel? Then what if we actually told you? What if actually you heard Peter? You know,
oh man,
or he's on the phone with Aunt May, and then you're wondering, oh, like what is Aunt May really thinking? So it just adds another level to that.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
that scene. You know, so scenes can be played extra, or if you wanted to see a scene that goes, oh man, this one panel looks great. Well, what if I gave you the animated version of that panel? You know, you could actually go, wow. So a scene where you normally would just gloss through a panel, what if we got a chance to actually see that panel play out the way you would imagine it as a fan? So it's like, you know, trying to give the fan the ultimate experience as a comic book reader.
That's amazing.
You know, and as well as teach a person to read a comic book, which is kind of crazy to say, but you know, panels kind of get designed a certain way, and not everybody knows how to read a comic book.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, that's true. I mean,
damn shame.
You do have to like learn how to read a comic book.
Yep. So this will teach you how to like navigate, you know, the proper the way for that writer, the way for that particular artist, because you know certain artists, like old school artists like Jimmy Steranko, has such complex, you know, layouts, you know, or a Jack Kirby layout. Just go, wow, look, there's so much energy. Where does my eye go? And then to actually help a newbie, someone who's new, to like take a look at it, or even a Frank Miller. My favorite is to translate a Frank Miller's work, because he has so many different layers of, you know, of his work. All of his works have that. Daredevil and, you know, Give Me Liberty, all that sort of thing.
Because like Frank Miller stories, a lot of times I have to like read and then like kind of go through and like, okay, this doesn't make sense to me going this way, so let me go this way. Okay, that makes more sense. And then kind of like just kind of go through it and just be like, okay, so now let me reread it now that I know where it's supposed to go.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna steal any more questions, but I got one more. So would you guys be down to letting some certain folks try this out in maybe in your pre-alpha phase and your beta phase and whatnot?
Absolutely. I mean, as we're going on, you know, we are testing. We were about to let people play with it at the Comic-Con, but I felt that I wanted to work on it a little bit more. We're working with this great team who are just so attentive to all the little nuggets that we want. Because I you know, the whole thing is to try to deliver you a sense of immersion, you know, that you're actually, you know, like you're locked into it, you know, you're invested into it. Another thing that brought up, which I think was very important, is that I wanted to have a comic book that you could listen to, because, you know, sometimes, you know, you're on the road. What if you got a chance to actually plug into your iPad or your iPhone, and you could actually just listen to the comic book, hear the dialogue happen with the, you know, the old-fashioned radio style. But another person brought up was like, what if the person was blind or what the person was deaf? And I said that's the reason why we have the motion comic kind of like do the things for you. And if you're deaf, that's what the whole audio is all about, is that I wanted folks who never could experience the comic book world through visuals, but it could experience the comic book world through the storytelling of like radio, you know. So there's
amazing.
So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I want nerds to be existing like everywhere, you know. That's just
yeah, me too.
And we're nerding out, we're nerding out on your nerdiness, so it's great.
We make the world go round, and we're responsible for creating, you know, this stuff, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We made Star Trek come true, you know.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
This is just throwing something off. So I install security systems in smart homes and stuff like that, right? That's why we're a little bit late. I was doing a home today, and they had a plumber. Home. Exactly, I know, right? And they had a plumber that had to come out, right? So they had this wand that I'm pretty sure it's like an audio, like it's how they find like blockages and stuff in pipes.
Yeah.
It sounded like something from Star Trek, like directly from Star Trek.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
And me and the customer looked at each other when the guy started looking like using it. We just looked at each other like, is that from Trek?
That's awesome.
Yes, the voyage to find the clogged pipe, the last frontier. It's just what happens if Spock got stuck in the tube while he's being shot out in the funeral.
What's going on, Step Vulcan?
Jim, out of danger.
He's here. And he's like, that is highly illogical, Captain.
Fascinating.
So we do have a question from James of all people, right? Lawrence, he wants to know what was your comic book background again, and what books have you worked on?
I can not confirm or deny
Batman
for legal reasons. Being a ghost and assistant, I was there to make sure that deadlines were made for certain folks that worked in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only hint I can do, but I can say my name is new to the game through Lumpia, but I've been around since I was 17 years old. That goes back all the way to 1987, 86. So that's how far back my work goes.
Nice.
I can't confirm or deny, but I've had some really great mentors along the way. A lot that Diego has uncovered a lot. I mean, like Diego's like kind of like living the life of Dick Grayson / Tim Drake at this moment, I think.
As long as it's not Jason Todd.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Jason or Damien.
He's just like, yeah, no, Jason Todd before he came back.
Leave my Red Hood alone.
Which is not like not a life. It's not a life you want to live.
Like, I mean, maybe Diego could explain.
Yeah, I think how my life has kind of revolved and turned around has become a very interesting parallel to my father. Because now at 22 years old, I'm a published interior artist for a very independent property. And it's in reflection of something along the line of the Turtles. And it's interesting that in parallel, my father, when he was in his 20s, was also published, but he can't disclose or share really with people of what he was doing. And a lot of my mentors that I've met through doing Lumpia and being around the comic book circuit, they're all from Image and DC, and seeing the similar people that just faces that my dad knows. They're like, oh yeah, I know your dad, and then they then like, oh, you're his son. Or seeing the newer artists who have kind of discovered me. It's been super uplifting to have that type of unique mentorship and that type of dynamic where we can talk about shop and kind of compare of the journey of what it's like for them when they were starting, and going hey, do you ever have a hard time drawing certain characters or with this type of layouts? And then it's been a very I think kind of the best way to put it is I almost feel how Grant Gustin was when he was brought in to work on the Flash, because Lumpia was a moving project. It's already been there for a while, and of course I did work on set, but being involved in the comic book end, it's so different because we have these new ideas and these new things that we're trying to just bring it out and go forward. And here's this moving train, and I'm hopping along with it and joining them and collaborating and throwing all sorts of new ideas. And I absolutely love it, and I'm so thankful for it. And I'm happy that I get to also just work alongside with my father of where in terms of art pieces where we can truly collaborate on a very different level, where he'll do either paintings or layouts, and then I'll like he'll ink them and then I'll color them and I'll digitally paint them.
What? Why don't you show off what?
Yeah. Like I think, you know, in terms of like our newest project that we're working on, it's actually huge, but hopefully you guys can see this.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, so it's this one. I actually did the pencils for it on the Ate figure, and then my dad did the Kuya figure, and then he inked both of them, and then I'm like painting it. So even within like the Lumpia Origins cover, that's how it was. Is that I did the pencils, and then he has the inks. Then I colored this one digitally. So I love working on like both digitally and traditional, and we're doing like a lot of experimentations now where he'll just do the pencils on like other projects, and then I'll digitally paint it and stuff like that. And it's really like a unique collaborative process.
Where this is like
nice.
So that's the black and white version, and then within a few days, you guys will see like the fully digitally painted version, and
it's huge.
It's huge. It's almost the same size of the new Kuya piece that I'm working on with my dad. But
bro, that's outstanding.
Thank you so much.
No, that's amazing. It really is.
It's so kind of just awesome, just knowing you guys before you're famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, dear, we do have
here.
some. Yes, dear, we do have some questions for you from the chat.
Oh,
yeah, it's blowing up, dude.
Yeah, James, once again, our
James
lovely producer. He wants to know how you found your path, honored the footsteps that your father laid out for you, but also expressed your own creativity and style.
You know, I think it's a tough question actually, because like my dad introduced me to comic books as a kid, and I've always been a fan of reading them. We talked about this last time where I got into Ultimate Spider-Man. I was into Titans, and through that I discovered artists like George Perez, which, you know, my father introduced me to him as a kid, and I didn't really understand the magnitude of him until I
actually not just his work, but actually
like
George Perez's person.
to make it clear, like a lot of the people of like these legends like Bill Sienkiewicz, who, you know, I have like his work behind me because like I've met Bill since I was a kid, and I've known these guys within the industry because my own father's path, and then meeting these people, and then now growing up around my late teen years, around like 15 is when I seriously got into artwork. And it's not to say that I never appreciated it when I was a kid. I was very much in toys, though. I have to just be honest.
This is put down the toy, Diego. This is Bill Sienkiewicz. Put down the toy.
Diego, put the toy down.
Put the toy down.
And you know, he's like, I don't want to put the toy down. Why do I want to read?
He's giving you a drawing. He asked you, "What do you want?"
I want to make a turtle.
But you know, like in the later teen years, like I really started diving into it, and like an artist who is a huge influence to me. One is Bill Sienkiewicz, but the major one to me is Joe Kubert. Joe Kubert's book of how to draw comics has basically been a major like thing that changed my brain of like, this is the world of comics. Stop drawing that way, boy. That's dumb. And
wow.
Yeah, well, okay, I will.
And from Joe Kubert, I started really appreciating like Neil Adams and a lot of the older artists, and it dictated so much for me. And by the time I got into I enrolled in pre-college during when I was 16, and then I basically started studying different like fine art, and my mentor Dan Brereton told me like when I was confused after working on film sets, then I realized it's not really a path for me. I thought it would be a little bit more glamorous.
And then you realize that film sets are shitty.
Oh god.
Not everybody gets the special treatment.
You over here, go.
Is it cream with sugar? Cream with sugar.
Especially when you're nothing, like right. Especially when you're nothing but a PA. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I'm thankful. Like working on set, everybody was really nice, but I just realized it's not what I want to do. It's not super creative. I've loved drawing, and my mentor Dan, like I said, I have all this knowledge of film, but I don't know what to do with it. And once he told me to go into animation, that's really what dictated my style. Influences like Paul Smith is like, he's a major guy who's like who I love. Dan Brereton, especially with his paintings and like how he chooses to simplify things. He's an artist who he can fully paint stuff like Alex Ross and Frazetta, and Dan chooses to draw in a very stylized manner, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I think it's kind of stumbling onto like my own work when I collaborate with my dad, because and even older artists like Tony DeZunga and Alfredo Alcala, Bernie Wrightson. I love all these guys, and it's hard for me to like fuse it into like one piece sometimes, because subject matter does kind of dictate when I work on things. I know that I don't know if you remember, Phil, I did do a piece during Powerhouse. It was a monster horror commission that I did, and that's where I really got to like kind of go, I like to do this stuff also.
I do remember, because I remember complimenting it when I walked by.
Wait, there was something monster and horror related, and you didn't let me know, Phil.
Sorry.
You have been warned.
If it's
Diego
related at all, he needs to know about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not that he will murder you; the beard will murder you.
Has a mind of its own.
It does.
So Diego, was there a point in time, like from 16 moving on, that did you kind of how do I say this? Did you kind of take some time away from the mentorship and drawing in the comic style to practice the basic human anatomy? Like, did you have an anatomy class, or did you like practice drawing live subjects, or utilize like an anatomical model so that it would help kind of make the comic drawing make a little more sense?
Yeah.
And specifically, what parts of the anatomy? No.
We know where this is going.
Size 27 shoe.
Yeah. And man parts.
So when I was 16, I was actually doing a lot of the formal like still life, like figure drawing, clothes figure drawing. I even took like an illustration painting class, and then I would do it at 17 during the summer. And then even during my freshman year of college, I think my first 2 years, that's all what I was really focusing on. My dad gave me advice. He's saying, forget everything you know, which was really, really hard, to be honest, because when you study a book for several years of your life, it's hard to like forego all the knowledge, and even something like comic books or even filmmaking. and to be blatantly honest, it's something that it's almost impossible to do, because once you
unlearn that.
Right. Empty the cup.
Remember, your father is being the guru, right? So unlearn what you have learned.
Yeah. When I did
this cup.
But when I did kind of forego a lot of the traditional like comic book style and rendering and breaking a lot of habits, that was, I'll be honest, it was very, very hard to stop. Especially and to really just work off a reference and learn it's okay. Like if Dave Stevens can do it, then you could do it. It's like just be okay with it. Dave Stevens made a lot of money. Neil Adams did it. Like a lot of guys use reference. Like those who don't.
He thought he was cheating. He thought he actually thought he said like that's cheating. I was like, no, son.
Being creative is cheating.
He thought using reference was a cheat.
Yeah, it's like when I was
back in the 90s, that was a big thing. It's like, especially in the comic world, like back in the mid 90s, if you weren't drawing anywhere close to the style of Jim Lee, it's like, who are you? And it took a while for people to break that, like seriously.
Yeah.
He said a trigger word.
But you know, I took so many like foundation classes that kind of changed everything. And once I actually took animation classes, it was hard to also kind of choose my own look, because I was blatantly honest with my professors. I was like, I don't like to draw kind of cutesy or how like the typical animation style. I had to basically kind of figure out an artist who is from comic books and who also did action stuff that I like. And I had to dive into like the Ralph Bakshi type of stuff. And that's where I found Paul Smith, Darwin Cook, who worked on New Frontier, and he worked alongside Bruce Timm. Like Bruce Timm is entirely self-taught. And I was going, well, I love Bruce Timm's work. Like, but I don't want to like look like that, because that's not really where I'm taught in terms of like drawing. Because a lot of this is like a hyper realistic, more true to life yet exaggerated look that I'm more used to doing. And it was really hard to just kind of train my brain. Okay, everything that you've learned from drawing from life, now stop doing that. Basically, it's like be simple. It's a lot of like working, and to be honest, like I do so many like workup drawings. There's like more than over thousands and thousands of drawings that I've done and then discard, because I have to go even simpler. And that's where finding a look was so hard, because my debut covers, they were all like painterly and an old school kind of like I wouldn't want to say like fashion style, but kind of, because I was very heavily influenced by like Bill Sienkiewicz and stuff like that, and a lot of painter artists. And when I took on that and then went to my dad and said like, Dad, what can I do to make this look easier and just be better? And my dad said, look at Paul Smith, he gave me a handful of guys, and Paul was the major one that I gravitated towards, because especially like when it came to the newest project that I had to do, is like, okay, Paul Smith is the guy that I'm just gonna go, I'm looking at you.
Paul Smith, I choose you. That's like a human Pikachu.
So we have another question here from Frey. She wants to know, Diego, where does your nerdiness differ from your dad's? Are you allowed to answer? Blink twice if you're not allowed to.
This is like a really hard question, but I think the best way to put it is, because there's so much of our taste that intertwines. But I think the best way to compare is like my Jack Kirby taste. Because ever since I was a kid, my dad introduced like hero clicks and these like little figures.
Yeah.
And the ones that I was attracted to kind of will tell you my taste. So I really liked Etrigan the Demon. I like Nightcrawler. It's like those two guys where I was like,
Jason Blood. I'm sorry, I'm going to agree with you on that one. All right?
So
as a character, I love Jason Blood.
I really liked Ghost Rider as a kid. Okay. So I liked this really dark, demonic shit as a kid that most people wouldn't expect.
Oh, I missed you.
Yeah, you're okay.
And
You need help?
as a Spider-Man kid, it's the polar opposite because you like Ghost Rider, a guy who's a skull on fire, and then they're like,
there's just
You
so
know,
many
as
inherently
a
bad.
5-year-old, I really love demons. I really love.
And then even like my Steve Ditko taste, I like the weird shit that people don't gravitate towards. So one of my most favorite Steve creations is actually the Creeper. And a lot of people go, "What the hell? It's just a naked dude. What's wrong with you?" He's just yellow and green, and he's got striped underwear and he's got a boa, and it's the most wacky design that's literally creepy. If you saw this guy, you'd go, "Get away! What's wrong with you?"
Well, the gentleman below me here lives in Florida, so that's an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
But, I
That's like a
think
Tuesday.
That kind of like best explains like my choice of my taste is like I love the bright and vibrant superheroes like Batman. Well, not Batman. Robin is like my number one.
I was about to say.
You said depends on the version of Batman we're talking about here.
But yeah, I love Robin. I love the original Dick Grayson Robin, even in the shorts. I know a lot of people think it's stupid, but it works for me because he's a circus kid, and I love Spider-Man. But then I also like the really dark, moody stuff that people wouldn't expect, and that's why I gravitated towards like an artist like Bernie Wrightson. In like my second year of college, my dad's like, he saw me practicing and inking. He's like, you saw how I was like really doing this almost anal like hatching technique. My dad said, "Oh, you should look like Bernie Wrightson. Like he's the perfect guy to study off of. He did Swamp Thing." Then the moment I went to
Just
Swamp
about
Thing
to ask that. I was just about to, like, you didn't mention Swamp Thing yet, so
yeah, Swamp Thing is a huge, like, Swamp Thing and Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein. I love it. I love monsters. Like, this says a lot, but my most favorite video game is actually Devil May Cry. So it's the most like bizarre setting, but then you have the most funniest characters. Then
you'll love Final Fantasy 16.
I just need a PS5. But I like that type of stuff, and that's kind of where my taste comes from. I love Kamen Rider and I love Ultraman, but I also love like very, very dark things that.
So I know your dad's voted on a couple. I don't know if you have, but have you seen our Superhero Super Showdown that we've been doing?
No. Oh, actually, I think so. Yeah, I've seen them on the polls.
Yes, that's what we've been doing. It's a couple from here, but we've coming up. We've got the White Ranger versus Kamen Rider.
Oh my god! Oh, that's tough. And it's regular Kamen Rider, right?
Yeah,
Like,
just regular Kamen Rider.
Shit.
This is guys, this is like the typical conversation that Diego have and I day to day. We have that's how we talk. It's just literally
that and British English.
Yeah. it's and only in explaining powers, but having the fight offs like if this character did this, or this versus this, or how is the Flash able to do that? That's our day-to-day conversation. Is like we talk. Another thing I wanted to mention is that Diego is really into anime. I think that's where he and I majorly
had me at anime. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you, Lawrence. I support you.
Well, I have a question here from James queued up that can go both of you. When you guys are working together, do you have any arguments or dialogue as you go through the creative process together? And is Lawrence art director, or Diego to you? Do you say Dad or Lawrence when working? James wants to know.
Oh no, never.
It's definitely Dad. I
Goes,
don't.
He's still my dad. He'll beat the shit out of me, man. Come on.
It's as much as I love like Dick Grayson, I don't call my dad Lawrence. I'm not going Bruce. Like I don't do something like that. And I'm not like Damien where I go father. It's like I don't do father. Like it's to me, dad is dad, and that's it. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always said that, and I will openly tell my father I love him, public or anything like.
Good.
But when it comes to working, there's times when my dad will be definitely an art director or even like an editor, and he'll put on the hats of saying, work on this isn't clear. And sometimes, like when you're in that deep inspired moment, you're like, shit, I really don't want to change that. But then you go, well, it's not readable. We have to think what works best, and then you move forward and you change stuff. Like, and even in terms of like color, that's where I kind of get not protective, but I'm very self-aware and try to make things like readable and pleasable to the eye.
I think also our dialogue has gotten better because Diego has studied up on a lot of these artists, and then the first question is, what do you want it to look like?
Oh yeah.
And like when he says Paul Smith, and I say, actually, I think you're really trying to do Norm Brayfogle right now, and then I was showing an example. I think that's where our comic book love is so big, is that we can reference not just artists, but very particular pieces of work, like Detective Comics number 500 and blah, blah, blah. Have you looked at this? So I would tell him the comic book, and then he goes, yeah, that's what I want to do. I go, well, you're doing Norm, or you're doing George Perez. This is looking more like George Perez. So if I ink this like Paul Smith, or if I ink this, it's going to look not right. Or is that what you want? Do you want to look like George Perez, but ink like Paul Smith? So our dialogue is that technical. We can be that. Yeah.
My God, I love you guys.
This conversation is so enthralling. I'm stopping my build just because this is fucking awesome.
You're building something, Phil?
I know.
Yes, building something.
I didn't even know you were up there.
Diego, you were about to say something.
Yeah. Like I think your newest like Wolverine piece is also like a great example, because you would say, I want this to look like Fire and Ice from Frazetta, because you really liked that piece, and then you also showed like a Conan piece, and then I was like, well, I don't think this is gonna really like translate too well in terms of like my coloring, so I went more towards I know the album cover, but I'll just show you guys.
Yeah, he was very specific.
Like I went more towards this album cover from Frazetta, and I really like this piece.
Can you hold that closer? The glare, the glare was on it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So like I went with more of this type of like extreme color palette, and it's like that's where like we'll have these discussions. Like, okay, I see the elements of what you like from Fire and Ice, and then I'll play with like a very different type of background and stuff like that, and try to amplify. And when it comes to even like my dad's compositions or anything, I'm trying to think, well, I don't want to overly dominate his art piece to where you can't tell it's his. And I want it to be that this is Lawrence's piece, but this is Diego's colors. That's and an artist who like really influences me, who's a colorist, is the guy who's doing the Ultimate Spider-Man covers, where you could see I can't remember his name right now, but he's an Italian artist who works in Photoshop.
Yeah.
And where he would just take Mark Bagley's pencils and then just throw all these colors and do his own digital inks, and you would just entirely like, you can't tell it's Mark Bagley anymore. It looks like an animation. It's just
it's not bad, but it's not Mark Bagley.
Yeah.
We lose the Mark Bagley portion of it, and I don't think there's too many other artists that can work the way Diego and I work. I could safely say that because, one, we're father and son, and it's not like he's going to replace his dad. Dad, I'm going to get another dad because I don't like the way you work.
You're fired.
He
sounds like something a 5-year-old would say, though. Just like, I'm going to get a different dad. You're not my dad anymore.
and my dad's going to be better, and he's going to be cooler, and he's going to have more hair. Just like.
Have you guys been talking to my kids?
And I think he and I, we go through I mean, every day we're in the car together when we're going to work on something, when we're getting supplies. Our discussions are. We don't consider it work, but we do know it is the work in the homework that we need, because as artists, you never really rest because you're being inspired. So
Yeah.
you're. I mean, if you're a writer, there's never a rest period. You're just, and as an artist, you're observing. You're constantly as a visual artist. If you're painting or whatever, you're constantly looking at, like Diego takes pictures of like sunsets. Like he takes pictures of
stuff.
yeah, like if we're in a building and we go, oh, this is a good reference. Okay, here's my Dad, I just got my Batman reference. So we just take photos of, like our Gotham City when we were in New York. We like just we took Hell's Kitchen. We took a lot of photos. So our conversations are really constantly about style. What do we think? What color? And when we want to do pieces, when he wants to do pieces himself. Like I was very, like he wants to do it. I want to do this way. Oh, okay. And I'm like, the whole argument is like, yeah, you do whatever. I think I've been around, I've been around long enough that I don't feel like I'm competing with my son. It's just like I've been published, done it. So my work, done it. Original artwork, it's out there. So I have nothing. There's, winning an Eisner, that would be great. But, it took 50 plus years for Tony DeZunga to get his Eisner, and, it happened on the day when we did our presentation, which was an honor to actually announce that Tony was inducted into the Hall of Fame of the Eisner Awards, the first Filipino.
The creator of Jonah Hex, if nobody knows.
Yeah, and that was a big deal, just to be able just to say, so for us as collaborators, I think he's my son, and I'm proud of him, and it's like, and I'm a fan. Obviously, I'm a fan of his, and I bought all his work just so I could cash it in. I have the first Diego Iriarte covers, all lined up.
Oh, he also has like the original pencils.
So I'm ready to cash this stuff in, like easily. Pay a premium through me. That's where my retirement is set. It's kind
of my favorite story is going to be like years from now when you're telling us a story about you trying to sell an original ink, right? And the guy's like, no, how do I know it's real? And it's like, well, my last name's the same last name.
I'm the same person.
Our DNA is connected.
He came from me.
I really have pictures of him with Thanksgiving.
I'm his dad.
That sounds, dangerously like the guy who his job is to check against false Carrie Fisher signatures.
Oh yeah.
You ever heard of that? Like there's one dude out there who like claims to be the signature king, and he's quote unquote spotted, photos of Carrie Fisher with her signature, and he's like, that's a fake, that's real, that's a fake. Those are like, those people exist, and it's disturbing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm having photos with him now. With the work, that's it seems sentimental, but it's not. It's all insurance.
So do you guys, and I mean, probably an easy question, but do you guys prefer, like nowadays, do you prefer working digital or canvas?
I mean,
I'm indifferent personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because there's certain benefits. Okay.
Yeah. Command Z.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh shit! Command Shift Z.
And delete.
As an animator,
That's very relatable.
This is like, it's the best thing ever. Okay, because I don't have to worry about all my workups or anything. I could just do it all digitally, and I can make like a 10-second thing within a few days, and not have to worry about it. When I'm actually like painting and doing watercolor and illustrations and stuff like that, I prefer to do even any type of sort of pencil work, and even my animations, it's all going to be traditional. just because I think my dad has put it perfectly, is that I'm an artist who likes restrictions. So sometimes, even though I'm working in a very small sketchbook to do thumbnails or anything like that, I prefer to do that because my brain, if there's too much of like anything, it's like there's too many options, then I'm like, well, then I'll put color, and then I'll put this one, and then I'll do this and that, and then
No, you're absolutely right, because it gives you a better sense of direction.
Right. And
the restrictions are actually a good thing, to be honest.
And it just becomes a bwahaha moment. Justice League reference.
and when it comes to like working like side by side, even at shows, like I have to have like the discipline of, okay, this is traditional. You can't do Control Z. What I've taught myself how to even do, because I do drawings on BART on the train a lot. Sometimes I'll even sketch cars while we're driving on the freeway, especially if it's really slow. So I do a lot of drawings, and I'm basically like, okay, no eraser. Like sometimes just even use a pen and just do contour drawings, so I'm not removing like my pen off the paper. And that type of restriction like really helps my brain like, come up with all sorts of things that a person would never expect.
That's why, that's why I use marker. You'll see me using a Sharpie. Because like who does a sketch in a Sharpie? And
this guy.
I mean, it's like when John Byrne was doing that, and I saw that, I was like, whoa. It's like when I saw Frank Miller doing it as his regular, I'm like, okay, I now get it. As a practitioner, I get it. After seeing those two artists, I was just like, okay, Byrne and Miller are doing this because it really is confining them, like you said, like Diego's saying, it restricts them. It actually like you can't erase. There's something about not erasing. Which I want to bring up a nerd moment, is the first time I showed a 1-to-1, meaning 100%. This is George Perez's page.
Oh my God.
So, and to look at a Crisis on Infinite Earths page in person, 1-to-1, 100%. This is his 11x17. These are the panels that he's done. And to actually look at the figures, like he has a thing about doing multiple figures, but to actually see that this man did every single one of these small, fine figures in a row, and you could tell who they are. There's no sloppiness to them. You could tell their uniform. Each one looked different. Wally West looked like Wally West. Superman #2 from Earth 2 looked like Superman #2 versus Superman #1 from Earth 1. I mean, there's like, to actually see that the discipline of Perez and Dick Giordano or Jerry Ordway, it was a Jerry Ordway page that was being inked, that these guys were dipping a pen and dipping a brush and inking that. I mean, it's like, it's unreal. If you ever get to chance to see a George Perez page in person, when you go to a Comic-Con and someone's selling an original piece of art and George Perez is on that list, as a fan, you need to look at it. You need to say, can I see that George Perez? You need to look at the fine detail that this guy did not have a Command Z. He couldn't undo. These artists can't undo. And there's something about that skill level is, I wouldn't say it's a lost art, but it's a very it's a discipline. It's a discipline that, it's like a martial art that you can't fake it. I'm not, and there's no disregard to digital artists today. Like, there are a lot, like you said, there's a lot of options and there's a lot of new creative ways, and it does give you the workups, give 1,000 different options to do. But there's something about the discipline of like restricting that, saying this is all I got, and working within that, and I think it's actually made Diego a better artist, well, more disciplined. I shouldn't say better, a more disciplined artist.
You don't want to boost his ego too much.
Yeah, it's just like well, our choices are arbitrary. There's there are choices and likes that we prefer, and and I would say that his preferences are becoming aware of what he can be doing. What line and that sort of thing. And I enjoy working with him a lot, because when we're doing the fine, when we're doing the fine details in there, I could say this is a Michael Golden. This is how Michael Golden is going to do this. You see the blocking of these areas in the shadow, but that will allow you to do color in a very different way on the face. So we get very technical. Very nerdy technical, and it probably would irritate a lot of other nerds. We would irritate the nerds.
But the thing is, Lawrence, you're absolutely right. That's the thing. See, I will give you my biased opinion. Being somebody who literally grew up in the late 80s, 90s, and now, I can tell you for certain, I am of the opinion that digital stuff today, in comparison to how it had to be drawn back then, is crap. It's crap in comparison. And this is generalizing. There are beautiful digital pieces today. There are beautifully animated digital pieces today. I mean, the end of Dragon Ball Super. Come on. But I mean, if you're gonna put that up against like Record of Lodoss War, there's no comparison, because everything was hand drawn, frame for frame, 24 frames per second.
Right.
And again, it goes back to exactly what you just said. It was one shot. They had one shot to get it right. Otherwise, they're doing that animation cell over again. So I think it's extremely important for young artists today to appreciate what they can do with a pen, a brush, or a pencil, and a canvas or paper, because that truly is where it begins.
Yeah.
Because now, I don't know if you guys are noticing, and the comment section and everybody on the screen, I want y'all to take note of this. It's become, people are crying out for 2D again. Especially in video games. People, especially with these remakes that are happening, I'm not going to derail too much. I'm going to make my point here. People are really appreciating how great original pieces can be, especially when they're hand drawn, whether it be fine or cartoon. And what they're learning now with the video games is that, there's cell shading, but a lot of games, like take Cuphead, for example, that's hand drawn.
That was going to be my example.
That's hand freaking drawn in a 1930s style, or old Disney animation style.
And I love
All
that.
right. So
I love that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that like is really got me ramped up about the upcoming X-Men 97, it's like, please, for the love of God, let this be hand drawn. Let this be a cartoon, and not a freaking 3D Botsmaster adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think you guys absolutely are on the right track to be able to recognize the finer details, and that was the point of my question. Do you prefer digital, or do you prefer canvas? Because obviously canvas is really important, especially when the fine arts community and the entertainment community, and God forbid the comment sections, are all super judgy on how correct things work, or how original they are or not original. It's like, come on, dude, make up your freaking mind. You know what I mean?
Just not to derail off of his derail, but did you guys get a chance to check out the X-Men 97 presentation that they had at SDCC?
Oh, no.
We were so busy. We were locked down to our insane schedule of
we were in a cage, and they basically said, "Don't go out. You don't go out. You work."
No, they were like, man, we got time for X-Men. We taking care of us.
But I mean, just like I get it, because when we work cons, we don't get a chance to go and enjoy the con. We're working, right? So we're like, we're busting ass.
Yeah.
But it's like every now and then, James might get a break and he'll go and check something out. So it's kind of like that's kind of where like the question was going, is like, did anybody check that out? Because like I know they played like 5 minutes from the first episode.
Oh wow.
And it was like, oh my God, dude. Like, of course, none of it leaked online. So I'm like, son of a bitch, I want to see this.
Wow.
Because the ones who leaked it out disappeared.
Yes. And they're dead.
Too bad that didn't happen to the Last of Us 2 leaker. Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, great question though. I mean, we don't have both of us. We don't have any bias about the digital. It does create. It's great tools, tools. But Diego and I actually go every Friday whenever we're not scheduled. We go to a nude modeling. Yeah, figure drawing. We actually do figure drawing. So we actually we bring our own easels. We bring actually newsprint. We actually use charcoal.
That's great.
Yeah, so we actually go.
And again, that's anatomy.
So we're doing, and then, we're bringing other comic book artists with us, to join us, because it's just like, they ask us like, you guys do that? I go, yeah. It's like, there's no other way for us to do, to know the shadows and, to correctly know this stuff, and that's one of the I would say one of the biggest things that I've heard from the mentors I've had, from Dave Stevens, saying draw everything. He says draw everything with reference, draw from life. He goes and he, when you look at a Dave Stevens painting, I want to let you know this is that there's, he's known for doing these beautiful pinup women. And, he's the precursor to Adam Hughes, right? And Dave actually could, like, line for line duplicate Frank Frazetta. And then these women that he's drawing are actually models, right? And then you could actually find the model that he used and go, oh, okay, that's that lady. But what people don't realize, that for these pieces that he does of these beautiful ladies, like look at DC Comics Who's Who, Phantom Lady. She's a composite. She's, the head is one lady, the body is from another lady, the bottom is from another. And he flat out said, like, yeah, I used the bottom from that girl and this model. I go, what? And so when I was finding out that he was using several models to construct the ideal super heroine, and he says, he goes, because no one's perfect. There's no perfect model. There's no perfect figure. Like there's no such thing that no one has, it's rare to find perfect symmetry in any person. And if you're trying to if you go off of one model, there's the possibility that, it's going to look like that person. But if you're trying
you fall in love.
Bro, there is no man alive who can look like 90s Cyclops. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say proof that that there is no symmetry. I mean, look at Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I think here's the best way to put it is that we work in medium and we watch entertainment with anime, look at manga, comics, and these are meant to be exaggerations,
right?
And these things, especially within like cartoons, you can not necessarily just do whatever you want because it can look like crap. But if you have this grounding in this base root of realism, and then taking different features of different people, it's like you have an interpretation or an idealistic form, and that's what we're constantly kind of trying to achieve when it comes to doing like the superhero stuff. Is like, it's because there is no true form to Batman. It's like Batman's a very interpretive character, and even something like Superman and Wonder Woman, where you can have a lot of leeway and a lot of play. But people have a look in their head when they say Spider-Man or Batman, Superman, any of the big characters. People go, that looks like so-and-so's art, or that they see an image in their head, and then you have to kind of make that ideal form that people want to see. And it's very difficult or rare to have artists who I wouldn't say do like a 1-for-1 of like the original artist's work, like Steve Ditko, but there's artists like Ron Frenz who capture the essence, and even like Steve Rude, where these guys capture the essence of the original creators, and you have people who come in afterward of like after like Bill Finger and stuff like that, and you get your own like Marshall Rogers, Norm Brayfogle, Neil Adams, these guys who make this interpretation of Batman, and then now we even have like Jim Lee and all these other guys, and people have their own thing in their own mind of that's what Batman looks like. And when it comes to live action is very difficult, where a lot of people will say like Michael Keaton is my Batman or Christian Bale is my Batman. And you have a lot of
Kevin
people
Conroy.
who have their own like
Sorry,
like, Kevin Conroy. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Conroy is a perfect example because when people read the books, people
That's
have
the
their
voice
own
in my
voice.
head.
It's like, and it's if you think about it, it's somewhat crazy because we all read a book and we all have their own interpretation of this is what that character sounds like. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very interesting where this medium can only do that. So
I sometimes you end up with Beast who looks like a cat.
yeah. like Beast is even. I think Beast is a perfect example because you look
started
at
off
Frank.
as a fat dude.
yeah. Well, Beast, when Jack Kirby originally drew him, Beast just looked like a normal guy with just big feet and big hands. Like Beast was not this blue furry dude. And you get like Frank Quitely, you get even Jim Lee. Like
Ray, I swear you took the words.
yeah, Adam West. Adam West is a perfect example. Like, I think another character that a lot of people don't think about is that Spider-Man. We all have our own voice of Spider-Man in our head of this guy sounds like this. He's from New York, but they make him sound like a California guy, to be honest.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
Hey, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's actually what
walk in here.
That's actually what I
swinging it.
liked about when they did Into the Spider-Verse is when he's like talking to his dad, he does like an over-exaggerated Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. It's like I love in terms like the animated feature films, like they've done a lot of work where Miles gets to play around with his voice. And if you look and listen to like Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, they started to do that a little bit more, where they add a New York type of accent, but it still sounds like a guy trying to do almost a pseudo California like American stereotypical voice.
Right.
Because if you listen to all the cartoons and the video games, Spider-Man does not sound like New York or New Yorker. Like as much as I love even a guy like Yuri, like Yuri Lowenthal, like he's a great performer, but he doesn't really sound like a New Yorker. And then again, like Peter Parker, like this is where it's interpretive. He's a very educated young man, and maybe he doesn't need that very rough sounding voice, but he's also super poor. So he's surrounded by all these people, and Peter can.
So it's like you would expect it.
Yeah, it's like.
But what's nice about the PS4 and PS5, Spider-Man video game is that even though they don't have that northern accent, they have the wittiness of the comic book writing down.
Oh, absolutely.
Way better than any of the movie actors do. Yeah. I love Maguire Spider-Man. I absolutely do. But I think in the games, and especially, and again, I live in the 90s, but in the 90s, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon that came on with X-Men, they had the dialogue correct.
Yeah.
That was Spider-Man.
Yes.
The PS4, PS5 Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man.
That's who I hear in my head for Spider-Man is, he was Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch movies in the 90s, who was the voice of Spider-Man in the 90s Spider-Man animated series.
Yeah, and that's actually the voice that pops in my head too.
Yeah,
and they have him in video games, especially when there's time displacement. He is the future or past version of a Peter Parker.
Right.
It's funny. My Spider-Man will always be Jack in the Box, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Wow.
Yeah, always. I mean, always. Just the way the whimsical banter and delivery, of that, more friendly, truly friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I love that guy's voice, and every time I hear it, I feel like, whenever
Home. It's home.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like I'm reading a comic book. It's Saturday morning cartoons all over again for me.
It's
And
like Wolverine. You can't have Wolverine without Cal Dodd. Sorry.
yeah, it's like you got to hear that. I mean, that's the same way for our as far as like artwork approaches, as far as like the styles that we look at. Is this? I mean, this literally what we're doing is conversations that Diego and I have every day, like examining properties. I mean, no exaggeration. It's not like, so what do you think about life? It's like, no. What do you think about? What do you think?
I don't want to think about life.
No, life sucks. Let's create a comic book universe where life doesn't suck.
So I mean, it's like this to me is like, it's been part of both Diego's life and my life. Like, he grew up because his dad is a nerd, and he's surrounded with comic books that I grew up with when I was a kid, that I put together a collection. And my excuse now is legit by saying, yeah, I'm saving it for my son. Now, it's I'm buying this extra. I'm buying two, one for our son and one for a reference. And now it literally has become, it's cool because it's become true, more than ever. He and I really share all this nerdy stuff, and we're making it a career, because we're trying to like up the level of nerdom for everybody, and I think our day-to-day conversations of figuring things out of how to draw something and how we could draw something really true. Our biggest topic has been the Flash, like the physics of the Flash, like what from costumes to what his powers would actually do to what, do you know what this actually means? Like he's moving this faster than the speed of thought, like truly what is the Flash doing? And Spider-Man, the mechanics of Spider-Man, of what he would look like actually swinging. Like, what does it mean to actually swing on like Spider-Man? Because, the whole pendulum, the beautiful pictures that people draw of Spider-Man, with the dexterity and all that, really, in our opinions, doesn't truly capture what happens when you're swinging and you're pulling, just the sheer dynamics of what you're like a yo-yo. The best way that we've agreed on is just like, it's like a yo-yo. You sling a yo-yo. A yo-yo doesn't go perfect. It's turning, and
right.
And to draw.
Oh my God!
So yeah,
I got to ask you a very important question, and this is not a joke. Do you guys have access to a spring or a lake, like just like a local thing, where some people have just tied a rope to a tree, and when it's hot out, they just go swing on that rope into the spring water or lake water?
Yeah.
Go capture those people.
Yeah. Well, even if you take a rope and put it around a tire, it's like, and you see those people swinging around it, it's like, no matter what physics, like you can't deny, is that people are going to rotate.
They're
That's
turning.
just how
Yeah.
It's no matter what, just scientifically, and that's why, people who play video games and they look at Spider-Man's animations, they go, Spider-Man's kind of boring. Why doesn't Spider-Man look this way? It's like, well, because it's almost not really impossible, but the animators who are doing a game like Spider-Man PS4, they have to almost do several different frames of like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then whatever's going on in between here, you can almost like basically it's random at that point, because and whatever line he shoots to connect to what building, it's like there's so much in terms of like programming and animation. It's like there's a lot that they would have to do in order to make Spider-Man really look like how he would be. And then there's the other aspect of going where they will just say, well, he's superhuman, but it's like,
no. And I think that's the most, we take these discussions not just out of entertainment, but we ask ourselves, like, how do we want to draw this? Like, when they talk about Dick Grayson, our favorite thing to talk. Another favorite thing is Dick Grayson is labeled as one of four acrobats in the DC universe that are the most incredible acrobats. One of them it's Dick Grayson. The other one is Deadman, Boston Brand Deadman, and the two other ones I can't remember off the top, but those are the two top in the DC universe. And both of those two characters are able to do something by sheer physics is not impossible, but highly improbable, which is the quadruple flip, which is totally possible, which we've seen. But the reason why it's difficult and really hard to done is just because the sheer physics of it to complete four flips successfully, one after another, it doesn't give you much time to get out of the flip. So by that time, you either your back is toward wherever you're going, or your face is going a certain direction. But to give the four full flips in one single swing truly is. And that in mind, he and I discussed like, well, what would this look like? What does this look like? And the discipline of what we do, from drawing from life and just investigating, and then looking at other pictures, like we look at skydivers, we look at Cirque du Soleil performers.
Yes.
Just so we're constantly researching, just so that way our drawings and storytelling can reflect that, and hopes to really deliver a great image that people love. That's just the sort of detail that we want to do. It's not necessarily the fine renderings of Neil Adams or the fine renderings of like Jim, but it's to actually really get into like, well, that's a great pose, but we want to try something that's adding to the story or adding to the moment of that frame that's on our script. So we try to approach it in a way that is really, again, heightens the audience. Like, oh, that's what Daredevil's going to do. Or, oh, this is really going to hurt. Like as I was working on the set, Diego goes, this is impossible for superheroes to land and do the superhero land. It's like going, this is impossible. It's just like, no, this
over exaggerated.
It hurts. It hurts your spine, and most of those heroes will not live past the age of 35 because they would have spinal compression, and the more armor you have, the more heavier you fall, and the more pressure it is on your spine.
Go ahead.
So therefore, it would start studying your growth or your height, and you just give you damage where you're going to be, you're not.
No more 6 feet.
That's what I was saying. Like, which is why Deadpool makes that joke in the first movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
right?
Superhero landings. They suck. It's like,
no, because he goes superhero landing. He's gonna do a superhero landing, and then she does the superhero landing. And goes just really bad on your knees.
It's like, I remember because we've had discussions that are very interesting. I think probably one that's so fantastic to think about, but a lot of people just will go, whatever, it doesn't matter. But this is a true character acting, and it's super interpretive, which is a character flying. Like you have Superman, you have Captain Marvel or Shazam, and then you have Black Adam, then you have Wonder Woman, then you have Supergirl. All these characters flying, they could all look so different, and then they could all have like the generic I'm flying pose, or if you have like
Black Adam, who's just like
Black Adam, who's like he's like that, or this is where me and my dad had a very interesting conversation that I was like, I actually really do believe Billy Batson would fly differently than Superman. Because the nature that he's a boy, and he could fly kind of any way he wants, but speed is one thing where he'll love it, but his poses will not be naturals because he's trying to get used to it, and he's a lot younger than Superman. And someone like Wonder Woman would fly differently. I think in the movies they've done a really good interpretation where she's almost in this always combative stance, like whenever she uses her flight. It's like, I think in the animations where they were I forget the artist, the Supergirl animation, Dad. Do you remember it? Michael Turner. The Michael Turner animation where they adapted Supergirl.
Yeah.
She was so expressive where she was almost so free forming and then she was so like loose. And it's very different
like
from a
she's
character.
like she's dancing. Like she's like
It's almost like she's dancing or like she's almost like a cheerleader, like in the air. And I think that's what's so interesting when you have an ability like flight. Because someone like Hal Jordan would honestly fly different than someone like Superman.
Yeah, especially Hal Jordan being somebody who has flight experience.
Exactly. And these are like, this is like probably one of the most interesting type of ways to think about it, because a lot of people will go, they're flying, it doesn't matter. But then you're like, well,
it does.
It kind of does, because
it matters for character development and all that.
Exactly. And even like acting, character acting is like the number one thing as an animator. You have to always think about this. In the Justice League animated cartoon, they always try to make someone like Jon Stewart have almost this grounded roots of like his machinery and stuff like that. And then when he became a kid, his stuff was just over exaggerated. And that's where I kind of believe someone like Kyle Rayner would be like, well, maybe Kyle Rayner would kind of just go balls out and just go like wings or something whenever he's flying.
Like a mecha. Like he's right. Like
yeah.
he has a mecha outfit.
Kyle Rayner, especially being an artist, right? Like,
yeah. It's like, Kyle could kind of do whatever he wants. He could give himself a jetpack. He could give himself a mech. He could do anything of whatever his mind imagines, and he could probably even mess around and go surfboard. Like, because he knows comics. So
right. Yeah. I think the greatest thing about like making a character a comic, like making a comic book character a comic book writer, and it's like it's almost meta, but at the same time you can make him think the way that you would think.
Right. It's like I think this is where like my anime like fandom comes out. It's like when they did the Ultraman adaptation of his son, the Netflix show, it's like I thought it was interesting of how they expressed the character Shinjiro, of how he was flying. I'm like, well, I guess that kind of makes sense why he would choose the way he does, because he's trying to get used to it, and his initial first flight is so kind of rough, and where he doesn't want to hit people basically, because he's located in Japan where there's all these crowds and stuff like that. And then his father, where he's like growing big, his flight is obviously going to be super different. So and I see even like Mothman would fly super different. It's like someone like Angel would fly radically different, probably from when he's just regular Angel to Archangel. It's a super duper interesting type of like.
We listened to this whole thing this morning about like the creation of Archangel, and like how Angel was just a rich, uninteresting character. He's a really rich, uninteresting character, and they're just like, oh, how do we make it more interesting? Let's give him a little bit of trauma, and now he's a much more interesting character as Archangel.
It's so funny. We talked about that. It just. Talking about the X-Men, how they're these characters that are meant to evolve,
right?
And I thought, and Archangel or Angel or whatever you would call him, Warrington, Warren himself, like his transformation into Archangel was essential, and then it's something in the discussion that we were saying. It's just like, you know what. The X-Men, the original X-Men, the original 5 graduated, and Archangel really developed, and Jean Grey, became Phoenix, and she really developed, and they still need to give her a superhero name. It's really silly to see on the credits of the cartoon, Jean Grey. She's not Marvel Girl, she's not Phoenix. She needs a superhero. But they saw Iceman. He changed and he transformed after graduation. Like he actually transformed. And then there's the Beast, of course, who's gone through several iterations of being, the circus looking guy to now being like an actual beast, a hairy blue guy to actually something right out of a fairy tale, Beauty and the Beast, and then, but the thing is like, if you could, something that we were talking about, like if you could do Cyclops, what's his graduation, his you know, what would make sense to you guys for Cyclops? Because we never see him like graduate. You know, we've seen these other members, but he's never really graduated into a form. And same thing with Nightcrawler. It's like going,
oh,
what would you know? We're saying like, you know,
I'm really gonna upset Forrest right now, but I mean, Cyclops is kind of a sociopath, so I mean, I just
yeah, and he's a horny guy. He's a horny.
What?
You think about it, like he like what kind of person has the drive to always have to be the leader every time? Fucking sociopaths.
Every incarnation.
Fair.
You know that.
Yeah. Whereas, what's the reason why everybody loves Wolverine? Because he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. He's the guy who wants to cut class. You know,
yeah. Wolverine just wants to literally. He's the outsider, because what does Wolverine want to do? He wants to go sit in the hallway and get drunk and
have some beer.
Fuck alone.
Sounds good to me.
We talked about funny enough, we didn't do the bracket, but I mean, like, we talked about this. No, it's fine. This conversation was good enough for us.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Like, we
glad I made it.
We were talking about like who were the most, what characters were the most heroic, right, between DC and Marvel, and we got to Wolverine, and he lost in the first round, because it was like, if we're talking about true heroism, right? Yeah, Wolverine's done some good things, but Wolverine's one bad day away from being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's an anti-hero.
Right.
Yep.
You know, like Wolverine is the kind of dude, like, he will kill people and he will not care that he did it. You know,
Yep.
like the whole thing is like, yes, if it wasn't for him being an X-Man, he would be a bad guy, because he does not give a shit about anybody. All he cares about is getting drunk and telling people to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And maybe trying to bang Jean every now and then.
Well, you know, we don't have to talk about that.
Bang everybody else's girlfriend.
Like, oh, Jean didn't work. Storm, how you doing? Oh, you're messing with you're married to Black Panther.
Peter Parker, your girl here.
Oh my god.
Can't get laid in America. Let me go over to Japan and see what's up.
Yeah. Let me just go bang Lady Deathstrike real quick here.
Another bad idea.
I need like a Wolverine version of like 50 Shades or something at this point now.
Oh no,
this would be...
about it on this show. 50 Shades of Superman with Kryptonite. All we care about.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And with some pink kryptonite.
Yeah.
The thing with Wolverine was that he was every teenage boy's blade fetish. That's what it was. Every teenage boy from 1980 to now, you know, they go through this phase, you know, between like age 10 and age 17, where it's like swords, blades, knives, swords, blades, knives, swords, Wolverine. Yeah. So, I mean, that's...
Are you telling me you still don't put the keys between your fingers and say, I'm Wolverine? You don't put your keys between your fingers? Come on.
I still do that.
Butter knives.
Look, I'm more of a sword guy because of D&D. No,
yeah, now I do it with tomahawks. I just go get 2 tomahawks, put them and I'm the male X-23 with tomahawks. You know, just
no, your bargain basement Wade Wilson.
I am. Yes, I am. Bargain basement Wade Wilson. My cancer, my delivery, everything sounds like Ryan Reynolds. Fucking amazing. All right. Well, guys, we are pushing overtime here. I would love to have this conversation continue, but at this point, you are booked for the 31st. You guys coming back?
I think we can, Diego.
I think so. I just got to double check my calendar, but I'm pretty sure we're available. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because you guys booked on the 31st too. So I mean, like, hey, the date's there. Take it.
Yep. I think we will, and unless something spectacular like divine is something, a Green Lantern battery, something, a teleportation, something happens, we're here.
If I get struck by lightning, I'll let you know how it works.
Just when it happens, scream Shazam at the top of your lungs. Okay.
just make sure.
Nice.
I'll try to run in a circle and see what happens.
Just don't do a stupid pose while you run in that circle.
You know,
you don't like this?
Oh, God. With the 2 fingers specifically. Wow, tempting fate.
Or doing this, or doing this.
Yeah. There you
Are we
go.
talking the Naruto running? Is that what you're doing right now? Or-
Yeah.
He's moving so fast you can't see him.
It's a ninja run.
The Naruto run. So cringe.
Have you ever tried doing that?
It's not comfortable at all.
It's almost as bad as a superhero.
No, you know what? You know what's funny? You know what run I did that is actually effective? The Gears of War run.
Ooh.
The Gears of War run actually works.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta try
It's a
that,
bitch.
Diego.
It's a bitch on the legs, though.
I was gonna say specifically when you're wearing combat gear and you've got a rifle in your hand.
Diego, we gotta try that.
Yeah.
All
See,
right, man, you know what to do.
I'm gonna find a way to put 80 pounds of gear on you guys with a back and a rifle
Hold on.
and sprint
Hold on.
with the rifle in your hand like that, right? But like honestly, like I tried it just as a joke, right? We were at a range, and we had to get from one place to another, so we started running, and it was like, God, this sucks because you're putting a lot of gear on your or a lot of wear on your knees by just kind of upright running. So we were like, why don't we try the Gears of War run? All right, let's do it. Tried it, and it was less pressure on our knees because your legs are like lowered the ground. And I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. So every time I had to run with like full combat gear on, I did the Gears of War run.
Nice.
That
Awesome.
is that's what we gotta do. We gotta try it and film it, Diego.
Yeah, because
I just envision you guys have a setup in your backyard where you just take turns. Whoever's drawing what, like, you have to jump from the house today.
Great, you do the. We do. That's how we do our reference pictures. Is like we play each other's characters, and Diego has the camera set up in the backyard, like literally marked off, and we have this stuff like no joke. It's
and props and different wardrobes for us to try out.
We are that nerdy.
God, this sounds so much. It sounds like so much fun. I will be a life model for you guys any day.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna call you on that. We will call you up on that because just a little hint. Who's the Monster fan?
Oh, Graveyard.
So we are working on something that's not only personal. It's a father and son thing, but we will call you both in animation and as well as voices, but also debuting that we're working on a serious monsters. There's an S on it. Property that is Diego and mine that we're planning to release fairly soon. Yeah, and I think you'll dig it. It's a whole new world of if you like Godzilla, if you like Jim Henson, Dark Crystal. Yes, if you like Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, and if you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro, then
if you're a fan of the Boussh.
Yep, you'll definitely like this stuff because it really has that flavor for those who grew up with monsters. It's also a love letter to Diego's mentors and my mentors of who've influenced us over the years. So every person who's ever done a monster, it's our love letter.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm interested. And if you ever need a beard model, just let me know. The beard is always available.
It's like screenshot this, Diego, right now. Screenshotting.
If you guys need, if you're doing a movie about, country cannibals, Graveyard is your man.
Oh,
and if you need voiceover, that guy up there and this guy right here.
It's like lock these guys down.
If you guys want to be shut down by Disney.
Or Funimation, respectively.
You guys, seriously, I think you guys are going to like the property. I'll let you know. Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you.
Well, guys, it's been 2 hours. Doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours because I looked down and I was like, "Oh, we should probably start the bracket." And it was like, "Oh, It's 7:45. Never mind.
We were at a restaurant. They'd have thrown us out already.
Yeah.
We'd have to keep purchasing shit.
We got to come together. You guys got to come over to do a barbecue with me and Diego sometime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, well, let me fly on over there.
Yeah.
Well, you got to
I was
come.
about to say.
It's got Filipino food. It's got Filipino barbecue, man. You got to come.
I was say me and Quay will get some plane tickets.
Yeah, I'm the only one close enough, man, because I'm in Sacramento. The rest of these guys are in various places around the country.
Well, have fun, Phil.
Dude, I'm 30 miles north of Orlando. That's where I'm at.
You know what we got to do, Diego, is whenever we do a show, we got to visit these folks. So
I'm in Chicago.
Hey,
good to know.
We're in the
Hey,
middle of Oklahoma, so
if you can get a booth at MegaCon Orlando, that'd be awesome.
just let us know like where you guys send Phil your emails and all that and places that you're at, and let me know, or Phil, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Phil's got
my info.
I want to make sure that we nerd out. You got to nerd
Hells
out.
yeah.
We have a
my
nerd.
social security number and my checking account.
Blood type.
His OnlyFans address.
Like
She does like. I don't remember buying this much lumpia.
It's again, thank you so much for having us, and thank you for promoting our film, our film release.
Hey, you guys deserve it.
Absolutely.
All love.
We love you guys' film. We love you guys when you come on. You guys are fun as hell to begin with.
October 3rd, order now for everyone. Spread the word. The more you spread out, you could pre-order this film. It really, really puts the chances of spreading the film to all the way to the Philippines, as well as working on the sequel, making on the sequel to the sequel. And
are both movies going to be available?
The second one is available, like I said, pre-ordering. The first one is only available if you buy it through, I think, Amazon, Diego. Was that right?
If you go to olympiamovie.com, I think you can buy it there. They have limited different versions because there's the 15-year anniversary and stuff like that. That one's definitively sold out, but they have older covers that they did for like the 5-year one, I think, and stuff like that. So,
in the 10-year.
Yeah. So, but they're super duper low on stock because there's only the original press version of those, and that's it. But we do have a double feature screening if anybody who's like
in Livermore.
At Livermore, October 9th. You can watch the first. Yeah, the Bankhead Theater. You could watch the first film and the second film back to back.
And we're appearing there. We're appearing there as a Q&A October 9th at Livermore. It's the 20th anniversary. It's also you can also catch at the Bankhead Theater Diego's art in person in Livermore, and my art in person as well. We are actually part of the comic book art exhibit that's there. So historically, again, we're breaking ground as far as being an indie book that's now in the museum. And check us out October 9th. Tickets are now on sale. The Bankhead Theater, you could actually get it. It is limited seating. You get lumpia for all in one, plus lumpia guys coming over. We are doing our comic books. We're selling the comic books there, limited prints there, and you might get a chance to take a little peek on some digital work, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little tempting there. So come
it's
on
a deep
by.
fried special.
While you're there, pick up some shrimp and pork lumpia. It's delicious.
Or vegetarian for those who are not meat hungry or that sort of thing. But come on by, But again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I mean,
absolutely. So, guys, real quick, let's go ahead and get some pluggables outside of the plugs we just did right now. Where can everybody find you guys if they want to find out more? If they, for some reason weren't paying attention the entire show, we'll start with you, Lawrence.
You can catch me on Instagram, Lawrence Iriarte, as well as Facebook. You could also check us out on lumpiamovie.com, kidheroes.net. Check us out on both Facebook as well as Instagram.
All right. About you, Diego, give us your pluggables.
Yeah, my Instagram it's Diego.Iriarte. Iriarte. That's all lowercase. And then you can check out my YouTube and Twitch. It's Diego Illustrates. And I think the new Threads platform, it's the same as my Instagram. So it's all pretty simple.
Right. Graveyard, tell everybody where they can find you outside of distance starting, sir.
Yes. I'm Gary, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly Podcast. New releases every Wednesday only on ComicConRadio.com. Make sure to check that out. You can follow me and our podcast and all social media at Pod Out at Night. Working on scheduling for a new show coming out, Conversations in the Void with Graveyard, hopefully starting September, first Wednesday of September. You can also follow the Beard at Beard's Graveyard on Twitter, where you can just see all this fun stuff that the Beard's having on Twitter. He's been silent recently. We gotta check on him there, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's okay. I mean, he's a eternal entity from the ancient times. He's not going anywhere.
Yes, and on top of that, you can find me. Yes, you can find me on our sister channel, which is Kyber Cave Productions. You can find me releasing new retro stuff every Monday for gaming on Kyber Cave Productions. You can see usually on Thursday night, except tonight, live gaming, and then we have the Saturday morning nerd out. So make sure we have new episodes of something new every single day of the week, and that's Kyber Cave Productions.
They mostly
Pod.
Mostly.
All right, so let's get into Shadu.
Woo!
Shadu,
I'm
tell us.
Shadu.
University.
I
love
Shadu
the
Studios.
fact changing your name the entire course. It makes me so happy. You're doing what I do on Kyber Cave, and it's great.
So I am SHDU Space Studios on YouTube and Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I mostly do short films, music, and various other nerdy things. Instagram is just my life. And then I am on Distance Nerding fairly often, as well as the Nerd Out for Kyber Cave Productions on Saturdays.
Awesome. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let the force be with you. Force!
Woo!
I am the one and only Fours FX Saber Sounds. You can find me at saberfont.com. Now, if you go to kybercave.com, you can get yourself one of these phenomenal, fantastic lightsabers. And when you do, again, let me invite you to go to saberfont.com, pick up a sound font to plug into your sabers, support me and my friends, Harry Solo Fonts and Juan Sith, respectively. Go on there, look through the catalog of hundreds of sound fonts that you can put on your prop saber to enjoy with your family and friends. You can find me over at Kyber Cave Productions on Thursdays, typically doing the gaming. I'm the main host of that. You'll find me right here on Distance Learning, also on Thursdays. And back on Kyber Cave, I have lots of pre-recorded gaming videos, and coming within the next couple of months, you're going to also be able to find me under Fours on Kick doing additional game streaming of just some favorites, and it's going to be fantastic. So until next time, may the Fours be with you, and we will see you right here on Distance Nerding.
We're still waiting on the Street Fighter tournament, especially now that I'm going to whoop the shit out of all you guys with my.
Just so you know, I'm level 55, Phil.
Oh God, you passed me already?
Yeah.
Hey Phil, can I do a quick plug? I'm sorry for forgetting about this. But
No, you can't. Okay. Go ahead.
Actually, Diego and I are actually heading down to Reno for the Iriarte in Sparks, Nevada. So tomorrow, from Friday all the way to Sunday, we are there showing off Lumpia love and Lumpia stuff and Lumpia trailers, and just get everybody familiar with the Lumpia, with the Vengeance, as well as we're promoting the October 3rd release. Take a peek at the stuff. You'll get a chance to see the Wolverine picture, and you get a chance to take a look at the Lumpia and Ate picture that we're doing, that we're actually showing the prints of there as well. And we're doing sketches. We're doing artwork live and in person. Diego and myself, you get a chance to actually see him do work, and me ink the work, him coloring work. We do watercolors and that sort of thing. Get your list down. We're taking requests as well. Hit us off on Instagram. And again, I can't say it enough, Bankhead Theater over in Livermore, California. check out the actual work at a art exhibit over at the Bankhead Theater in Livermore. We will be there all the way to October 9th. All the way to October 9th, you can actually check out the artwork in person on the work and covers from the comic book.
The Iriartes, ladies and gentlemen, out here being the goats. All right. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm your boy, Young Phil, distance nerding. Of course, we are all over the place. We are on all the channels and places and everywhere. I'm kind of stretching because I have a whole new thing written and it's pretty funny, but I brain farted and forgot where I was supposed to go. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, find us on all social media places, everywhere that exists, all your favorite places, all like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys on the flip side because now it is time for the dance party. And get this off my face. All right, let's go. Dance party time because we're going to dance. Buttons. All right.
There you go.
Oh, he's already got it. Oh, there it is. Woo! Oh, shit. Is that a
Distance nerding.
Got half a Boussh head. Hey, half a Boussh. I didn't get to show everybody the progress. We'll see everybody next week.
「